minutes, and you're still passing.
Yeah.
Huge. It's gotta be miles long.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, this site's bigger than you think.
And they're supposed to get the water out of Lake Michigan.
So, the other idea that I had, and my associate Mark Hubel I worked with, that we had was we were going to create aquifer storage and recovery wells, store the water in the winter. Yeah. Bank it, treat it, bank it in the winter. But they don't want to do that because it's environmentally just.
It's not that big.
It's bigger than you think.
It's near you?
Yeah.
It's bigger. I have plans.
I've never seen one of them.
It's
ugly.
No, I drove around the whole site. It's big. Trust me. No, once it gets done, you won't even.
Luga's got his walls there. There's
Yeah, well, he's
ugliest wall.
John is the one that's building. So you don't know that. It's owned by Data USA. The guy kept but he's a French guy.
Yeah, we bid some of the management stuff. We didn't get it.
Okay.
Construction. I guess we didn't get it. They never called us back.
Well, we're only doing a feasibility study right now. They really potentially want it.
That's the over under. Everybody's seeing the computer.
Good evening and welcome to the general meeting of the Mayor and the Township Committee of the Township of Winslow. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty eternal God, we pause at the beginning of this meeting to acknowledge thy mercies towards both as individuals and as a nation. We pray that would guide us in this township meeting this night to the end, that all that is discussed and acted upon make our township an area with goodness, human kindness, truth, and justice a part of both our business and personal lives. Amen.
Ms. Doherty, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Comedian Borelli,
Present.
Famini,
Here.
Gleekis,
Present.
Lee,
Here.
Leverett.
Here.
Comedian Peoples is out tonight. Watkins,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Mayor Lawrence.
Here. Other officials present are Joseph Gallagher, Township Administrator, Steve Dringus, Chief Financial Officer, Lisa L. Doherty, Municipal Clerk, Justin Strasser, Acting Township Solicitor, Tim Bogine, Acting Municipal Engineer, Joe Mingle and Cindy Aratola, Municipal Utilities Engineers, Deputy Police Chief Mike O'Rourke, Robert Stamelski, Emergency Management, Lou Bowman, Superintendent of Municipal Utilities, Wanda Glaude, Winslow Township Board of Ed, Woody Cuffey, Retired Code Enforcement Officer, John Shaw, Winslow Township Board of Education, and Joe Thomas, Winslow Township Board of Education. This meeting is being conducted in full compliance of the Open Public Meetings Law, and notices were sent to the Courier Post and the Hamilton Gazette and other news media. In addition, the notice was provided on the official bulletin board. This meeting is being electronically recorded. Please be aware, in the event of an emergency, all persons in the courtroom should exit the courtroom quickly and orderly using the two main doors in the courtroom and then locate the nearest exit to safety. In addition, all cell phones shall be turned off or placed on vibrate during the township meeting. Please be aware governing body meetings for the 2026 are held the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, with the exception of July, August, and December being the third Tuesday of the month, and November being the second Tuesday of the month. All residents are encouraged to attend all meetings. We'll start off with our announcements. Committeeman Flamini, would you read the first announcement?
Yes, Mayor. Winslow Township proclaims mandatory restrictions on the use of water for certain purposes. Even-numbered addresses can water on even-numbered days and odd-numbered addresses on odd-numbered days. Water usage is restricted to 5 to 7 a.m. and 7 to 9 p.m., and outside water usage is prohibited on the 31st day of the month. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeeman Wilson, would you read announcement 2?
Yes, Mayor. The 2026 spring leaf collection schedule continues as follows. Round 2, Ward 4 is May 25th through May 29th. Leaves must be free from all other yard debris, including sticks, twigs, acorns, and trash. Also, please do not park any vehicles in front of or too close to the leaves during your week, or they will not be picked up. For more information, contact the Department of Public Works at 609-567-0700, option 2, or visit our website at www.winslowtownship.com. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeeman Borelli, would you read announcement 3?
Yes, Mayor. Windsor Township Environmental Commission is hosting a Green Fair shredding event on Saturday, May 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Windsor Township Municipal Complex. Join us for a day of learning, activities, and of course, the shredder trucks. Residents only for the shredder trucks, no businesses, please. Rain or shine. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeewoman Leverett, would you read announcement 4?
Yes, Winslow Township announces that all general offices will be closed on Friday, June 19th, in observance of Juneteenth. Curbside trash and recycling materials will be picked up on normal scheduled days. Your cooperation is appreciated.
Thank you. Committeewoman Lee, would you read announcement 5?
Yes, Mayor. Winslow Township will be celebrating Juneteenth on Saturday, June 13th, 2026, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the New Brooklyn Park. There will be live entertainment, vendors, food, and activities for the entire family. Wall Street Band will be performing at 6 p.m. All are welcome.
Thank you. Committeeman Flamini, I believe you have an announcement you want to make.
Yes, Mayor, I do. I just wanted to congratulate the Williamstown High School, or Winslow High School band. Now, settle
We
down
know where
because
you
my
are.
grandson
Wrong
goes to
town.
Williamstown. So they get confused. But the Winslow High School bands have had an amazing season in competition in both the marching band and the indoor competition. You always hear about the athletes, and the musicians in the band are essentially student athletes because the marching band takes a lot of coordination, it takes a lot of practice, and they're on the field almost as much as the football team. So just wanted to make that announcement. Some of the students have won scholarships from the Tournament of Bands indoor competition, which was held in Wildwood on May 2nd. So I'd like to just give them their props. Samara Thomas and Maya Rivera won scholarships during the football season, and Ginger McCarty, won a $4,000 scholarship at the indoor finals in Wildwood. Congratulations to these students and all the student musicians and athletes that participate in the bands. They've done a great job, and I'm honored to see them at all the competitions. So if you haven't been to one of their competitions, you really should try to get there. During the fall, they have marching band competitions, and during the winter season, they have indoor competitions. So follow the website. You can go see the bands. The band directors there do a great job, and they need our support. So thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. And their talents were on display yesterday at our Memorial Day service. We had a young man that played taps, and if any of you are familiar with the performing of taps, that's a very difficult piece to play. And there was no squeaks or anything. It was beautiful. So thank you, Chuck, for that information.
You're welcome.
Yesterday was a very moving and solemn observance of Memorial Day here in the courtroom. Deputy Mayor Darius Peoples was the keynote speaker. I'd like to thank my assistant, Karen Bringhurst, Davita Hart, Jessica Hull, and Cedric Smith and their teams for contributing to the success of the event, which is normally held outside. So they had to convert it to indoor and bring everything indoor, and everything had to be in this room, and they did a great job, and I just want to thank them for that. Over the weekend, you should have gotten this Parks Guide. Did anybody get it? It's not trash. This is the Parks Guide. It came out for all residents, and you should have received it. If you haven't, it's probably on its way. There are lots of activities in here. Winslow has a half a page of events. There's too many of them to mention, but there are senior events, special needs events, veterans events, pet-friendly events, library summer programs, and various camps at Camden County College. So when you get it, do take a moment to go through it. There's a lot of information in it. And on this Thursday, the township has the Motor Vehicle Commission coming back. Real ID appointments are always filled. They're filled. There's none. But if you have tags to turn in, you can turn them in, or you need your registration renewed, they can do that without an appointment. That's this Thursday from 9 to 2:30, and they set up here in the courtroom, and the van sits outside. Beginning the week of June 8th, 2026, Winslow Township will begin collecting all bulk and yard waste. There will be no charge to either schedule or collection requirements at this time. Yard waste will still be collected on your trash day, and bulk will continue to be once a month on Thursdays, depending on your trash day. A couple of upcoming road closures to be aware of. Thursday and Friday, northbound Mays Landing Road will be closed between Route 73 and the Folsom Township line between 7 and 5. Sicklerville Road northbound will be closed from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. starting tonight through Friday between Ariel Road and Winslow Township School 3. Emergency vehicles, school buses, and local traffic can still get through. And finally, I was among many from this community today that said farewell to our former township employee, Nellie Jordan, over at St. Matthews in Williamstown. So our condolences to her family. Thank you. Now we have our claims. A list of claims has been submitted by the Treasury for approval, and individual vouchers are available. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Watkins.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have an ordinance authorizing an agreement for a tax exemption abatement with AREC 35 LLC, also known as U-Haul Block 4004, Lot 12. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
Move to introduce.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion?
Quick question, just for clarification for the residents. Administrator Gallagher, this is a 5-year tax abatement for a commercial property?
Yes, that's correct, and in accordance with our ordinance, it was probably passed in 1997. They go through the tax assessor's office, and then they have to meet the requirements, and then they have to present it to the governing body for approval. Correct.
Thank you.
May we have a roll call, please?
Committeeman Borelli?
Yes.
Philomene?
Yes.
Bleekus?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Leverett?
Yes.
Watkins?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Lawrence?
Yes. Second reading of ordinances. We have an ordinance of the Township of Winslow, County of Camden, and State of New Jersey amending and supplementing to establish Article 1, Chapter 296-3.c, districts establish prohibited uses to prohibit data centers. Amending Article 1, Chapter 296-7, definitions to define the term data center, and amending and supplementing to establish Article 1, Chapter 296-9.9A, 18, cannabis establishments as conditional use to prohibit micro-cannabis businesses within the Pinelands areas of Winslow Township. I will now open the hearing to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the governing body regarding this ordinance only? Yes. Would you come up to the podium, please?
You take the microphone out if you like. Just pull it out.
Thank you. Patrick Oates, Ward 2, Sicklerville. I had a question.
We need your address, please.
7 Gooseneck Lane, Sicklerville, New Jersey, Wilton's Corner. You went through the first ordinance. I had a question on that, the U-Haul. Can we, it wasn't open to the public. Is that
No.
not, that's not,
No.
okay. I'll ask that during public forum then. Okay. 1 second. So we're talking about the data center, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, reason I'm asking this question, First of all, let me give you a little bit about me, so some people think it's political aspiration. My background is 20 years in the Air Force, 15 years in the government. I worked with DOD, FEMA, Homeland Security, and I worked my way up from a technician to a director of IT for Coatesville Medical Center. And my last job was working out of DC doing cybersecurity. So this is my wheelhouse, and I know what I'm talking about. So I just want to let you know. I think Committeeman Borelli was on to something a few weeks ago about the language in this, and I'm asking the question because the language where it says occupied primarily by computers and or telecommunications equipment. So my question is whether the definition is broad enough to prevent a company from proposing an AI computing campus or technology center or mixed-use facility containing substantial data processing operations and then arguing that it's not technically a data center, you know, it's a campus. So I looked at all the documentation. I did not see the verbiage of any of those words in there. So to me, that's a loophole. So I'd like to know from the governing body, did you guys look at this, the admin subcommittee, and come together and talk about it, or was it left to the administrators and who else? So that's the first question.
Could you repeat that verbiage, please?
Okay, so my question?
Yes.
My question is whether, well, see, the language that you have in the data center says occupied primarily by computers. You know, you're talking 1980, or telecommunications equipment. That's old school stuff. Now it's voice over IP. So my question is whether the definition is broad enough, because that's the language that you're using, to prevent a company from proposing an AI campus. That's another word, AI campus, or a technology center, or using the term mixed use facility containing a substantial data processing operation, and then arguing that it's not technically a data center, quote unquote, they're hiding behind the language. Has the township attorney reviewed that possibility?
Are you finished?
On that one question, yes.
Well, present all your questions, and then we'll come back with you.
All due respect, I ask the questions, and I don't get answers. I mean, are you going to answer it when I walk away for this particular
Yes,
ordinance?
yes.
Okay, yes, ma'am, thank you. Okay. And if you believe that this covers, then the follow-up would be, would it make sense to specifically reference AI computing facilities or substantially similar uses for future developments can exploit this? So that's a loophole. And the third question about this, technology changes quickly. Has the township considered covering language familiar? For example, 10 years ago, most people talked about server farms and data farms. Today, companies are using terms like AI computing campus, artificial intelligence, intelligence training, high-performance computer centers, cloud infrastructure, hubs, and digital processing campuses. So my question is simply whether the ordinance is broad enough that future applicants could avoid prohibition, this change, by changing the label and still slipping into the township. It's my personal opinion that the language that I read from your agenda packet is not strong enough. And the last question, make it make sense to me. I understand the purpose of the data center, because someone explained the cannabis amendments and why are they included in these ordinances. What practical impact these cannabis changes will have compared to the rules that exist today? I appreciate the township on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I can answer something. I know for your last question in reference, why are they same on the same ordinance? Mr. Platt did answer that question the last time when he referred it to us. He said the prohibited uses they kept under one ordinance, and that was the purpose of that. I know, Justin. And as for The actual definition, our legal department, Mr. Platt, I know Ms. Justin and Chris Norman all reviewed it, sent it to the governing body, and they feel it is adequate enough to prohibit data centers, according to their definition. So right now, this ordinance is being passed, so it prohibits data centers for the, anywhere in the township, not only in the Pinelands, but the non-Pinelands area. And that was our legal opinion from our solicitor, Mr. Platt.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. And we all also agreed that this ordinance is up for amendments. Just so the general public knows, this is not the time to really play around with it. We need to get it on the books, because I can tell you personally, they are circling Winslow as we sit here tonight. So I just want that message to go out.
Mayor, if I could add, our planning department got 2 requests last week about data centers coming to Winslow Township. And that's primarily because the towns around us have already passed ordinances prohibiting AI data centers, campuses, whatever you want to call them. So it's imperative that we take action tonight, pass these ordinances, so that we can get to the point where if someone comes in with an application, it's not grandfathered in.
Mayor,
Go ahead, Mr. Watkins.
I truly believe that something should be passed tonight, but being that I do a lot of IT work as well, I don't know if our solicitor would agree that we should add some of that language to make our,
Yeah,
stronger.
we've taken all the comments into advisement, and we will look at it, moving forward, but as people have said, it's been our position, this is a strong enough definition, but obviously the most important thing is getting something on the books.
Absolutely.
Time is of the essence.
absolutely.
And, as Chris Norman, I think, stated at the last meeting, you can't let perfection be the enemy of good.
Absolutely. As
Something
Mayor
has to be
stated, as far as amending it so that we can have.
And that's the great thing
stronger-
about amendment,
Okay.
or about ordinances, is they can always be amended.
I have a question, if I may, Solicitor. This ordinance was introduced Tuesday, April 14th. Does that seem accurate?
I believe so, yes.
Since April 14th, we've had at least 3 council meetings. Would that be accurate? 3 council meetings. Legally speaking, when this particular style ordinance was introduced, April 14th, what is the legal process to vote on the second and final reading of an ordinance of this nature?
Well,
I
of
know
this
Mr.
nature.
Mr. Platt did give you that answer, and I want to make, I just want to let Justin know, in fairness to him, the question was answered already to you. You had the exact same question.
That's okay. I just want to verify something. So April 14th, this particular ordinance was introduced. 10 days later, I believe, is the legal requirement for a second and final reading of an ordinance? Or how fast can a second and final reading of the ordinance be voted on?
Yeah, it needs to meet the advertisement requirements, yes.
What are the advertising requirements, if I may
I believe you
reiterate?
say them correctly, you need 10 days to
10
advertise,
days.
yeah.
So legally speaking, I just want to make sure I have this correct, or if maybe this is incorrect. If April 14th was the introduction, could we have done a second and final reading of this ordinance in 10 days?
No, an ordinance of this nature, which is a zoning ordinance,
Correct.
first needs to go before the planning board for review and recommendation to the governing body, which it did in this case. I don't know the exact date, maybe someone.
So planning board would be under an advisory recommendation statute for this zoning ordinance. Is that legal? Is that a general sentiment, or is that a legal requirement?
It's a legal requirement.
It's a legal requirement.
Yes.
My next question is, because April 14th, May 26th, it's a lengthy amount of time to go. This is an urgent ordinance. Does the planning board have the authority to call for an emergency or special meeting?
You can always call for a special meeting, yes, upon 48 hours' notice.
Okay, thank you for that. In regards to language for this type of ordinance, if you alter an ordinance too much,
If it constitutes a substantial change, correct, you have to reintroduce.
reintroduce it.
Yes.
There is a setup, there's one sentence specifically of language that I've seen incorporated in a multitude of data center ordinances. I've looked at Waterford, Monroe, Millville, et cetera. I'm going to read the sentence to you. And my question would be, if that were to be amended tonight, could the second and final reading of this ordinance go through, or would this change it substantially? The sentence is, the definition of data center, may include but are not limited to typical accessory components of a data center, may include transformers, electrical substations, environmental controls, fire suppression, generators, redundant power supplies, and security facilities.
Yes, I would consider that a substantial change that would require reintroduction.
That would be a substantial change.
Yes. It's a substantial change, but the bar is relatively low, and you always want to err on the side of caution. You don't want a data center who's looking to make an application, and this ordinance passes, and then they file a challenge to the ordinance saying it wasn't done properly. So I think that's an important consideration when you're looking to make a change to an ordinance at the last second after it's already been advertised.
Thank you for that, for the legal counsel, solicitor. My question now is for the mayor and specifically Committeeman Flamini as a member of the planning board.
I will say, we are still technically in the public portion. I think before we continue discussing this further, maybe we should return back to public, see if anyone else has any comments. and then-
Given that other members pose their questions, I think it'd be adequate for me to complete a couple of my comments.
I'm just making a recommendation.
Okay.
So, my next question is specifically to the mayor and Committeeman Flamini. I included Committeeman Flamini in this question, as you are the longest-serving member of this governing body, since 2002, to my knowledge, and you've served in a planning board since the year 2009. Why was an emergency and/or special meeting not convened for this topic? I hear the call for urgency, but why was there no emergency or special meeting convened for the planning board for this type of topic that is urgent?
Mr. Glickus, we're not going to go back. We're trying to go forward right now, tonight. We're trying to get this ordinance passed, and we've had discussions over the past several meetings regarding this. And if there's any amendments that have to be made, we can make those amendments. But right now, we need to get it on the books. I know you abstained from it last time, and you can abstain again tonight. But as a governing body, I'm speaking for myself, I want us to get this on the books tonight.
Mayor, if I could, I would agree. It's imperative we get it done tonight.
Yes.
Before any applications hit, and then we're out of luck.
We can nitpick and go back and say what woulda, coulda, shoulda, but right now, it needs to get done tonight. Because and like I told you before, you're not an attorney, but I know you've done your research on all the different towns, but I don't think you realize all the different dynamics that go into making up this ordinance. Every town is totally different. You talk about Vineland and what goes on down there. Vineland has their own utility company. But right now, here in Winslow, tonight, for our residents sitting out there, we're trying to protect you and your neighbors. I don't know what he's trying to do, but this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this ordinance on the books tonight. And that's the priority that we need to take care of.
My priority is to put forth the best possible ordinance.
Exactly. And the other part of it, Mr. Glickus, is that if it needs to be amended, we can amend it.
The purpose for my
Mayor,
question.
I would recommend that we finish out the public portion before we.
Is there
turn to
anyone
comments.
else in the public that wishes to address this
I'm not
governing
allowed to
body?
respond,
And I'll
Mayor.
come back to you and let you speak. I'll let you have your time. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to address just this ordinance?
Good evening, everyone. How are you today?
Hello.
My name is Paige, and I'm in Blue Meadow Lane.
Can't hear you.
Excuse me, sorry. My name is Paige, and I'm Blue Meadow Lane. So I just have a question. So I hear that we're going to pass the ordinance tonight. My only concern would be, once we pass it tonight, what is the follow-through to come back to, I guess, to re-edit this, or how long will that take? So that we want to make sure that we're completely covered, so there are no loopholes. So what's the timeline for that, possibly? Am I making myself clear?
That, as far as I know, that can be done at any time once it has passed.
All right, so, but I'm saying, in the sense of a timeline, what can we expect to kind of circle back to that, to just kind of make sure that everything is covered?
Research will be ongoing, because this is like a moving target. It changes from day to day.
All right, so okay, just say, and I'm not sure what, all the language and things like that. Is
I'm
it
straining to hear you. I'm sorry.
Or I said, I'm not sure about in regards to all the language and things like that, but is it possible that there's something that someone who wants to put a data center in could kind of come in during this time, even though we have this? I just kind of feel like I just want to make sure that we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, and we not take like another month or whatever, because if there's a loophole, then I'm assuming that the bigger corporations will use that. So that's, I'm just concerned right there for that area, the time period for us to just kind of make sure that we do our diligence in doing this. That's it.
That's what has been done, our due diligence on this. Nothing is going to be perfect,
Right.
that's for sure. But we have to do our best to make sure our residents here in Winslow are covered.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Governing Body. I just have a question in regards to the conversation that was having. I understand that you want to pass this ordinance because it's imperative that we do, because we have too many applications starting to fall in. But Mr. Gleek has asked the question that if we change that whole line, would that be considered a substantial change, and what will happen? And if I'm correct, I think the solicitor said that means that because it is considered a substantial change, not necessarily an amendment of one or two words, but it's a substantial change, then we will have to reintroduce a whole new ordinance. Did I correctly hear that? So if we pass this ordinance tonight, and it has to be a substantial change, we will have to redo another ordinance, and will that mess up this whole situation going on? So please explain that to us so that we understand this whole process better.
The attorneys will have to do a workaround. That's what we pay them for. They know what they're doing, and they, like he said, the wording that was read to him, that would be a substantial change. I'm sure there are ways that those changes can go in there without being a substantial change.
No, so in order to get language like that in, so if this is adopted tonight, essentially what would happen is if that language wanted to be added, that specific language, we would start the process over. We would introduce a new ordinance, but the current one would still be on the books.
Right.
There would be
Right.
no impact to
Right.
that whatsoever.
Yeah.
It would just be an ordinance to add that word
Right.
in. So it has no effect on what happens tonight. That ordinance would still be on the books.
Okay. All right. May I get a roll call, please, Ms. Doherty?
May I finish my questions, Mayor?
I'm sorry, you have an additional question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in response to my comments earlier, like I said, I want to make sure we put forth the best ordinance in the most timely manner. This was introduced April 12th. There was a resolution, which is symbolic, passed at a prior meeting. There was also a model ordinance sent to every member of this governing body by an organization that's heavily involved in data center ordinances, March 25th. And I posed a simple question to many members of this governing body. Have they reviewed other ordinances from other municipalities regarding data centers? I've repeated at one meeting 3 times without a response. If we're supposed to be doing our due diligence, we should be doing our due diligence. Compare, contrast, review, and try to put forth the best possible definition for this, because this is a serious topic. Every ordinance I've reviewed has included a component regarding the typical accessory components of a data center may include, I'll read it again, transformers, electrical substations, environmental controls, fire suppression generators, redundant power supplies, and security facilities. I don't understand, but almost every ordinance I've read so far includes that type of language. Why was that not originally put in our ordinance? because we've had over 6 weeks. And I bring this up again because April 14th was when this was introduced. April 28th, we had another meeting. This was not on the agenda. We had a planning board meeting that was in May. So technically, we could have reintroduced it April 28th, had a planning board meeting, and then completed this ordinance by May 26th. And the reason why I bring this up is we can't make these type of errors. We have to try to learn from them so we could expedite policy and put forth the best policy in a timely manner. These are some of the reasons why I pose some of these questions, because this is a serious topic, and we will have serious topics later on. However, we have to make sure we do things in the best possible way, in the most timely manner. And I'm just trying to understand why I pose a question. Did anybody review other data center ordinances, review other information regarding this type of topic? Everybody refuses to answer the question. So my question again is, have other members of the governing body reviewed data center ordinances, compare, contrast? I would like to know, residents have asked me this question. Can anybody in the governing body please provide some information on that, insight?
I personally am not an electrical engineer, an electrical designer. I have reviewed several. However, my husband is. He has given me the benefit of his explanation of data centers. In terms of being comprehensive, we are trying to be as comprehensive as we possibly can be at this time. We don't know how these data centers are going to expand and develop in the future. So all we can do is to protect ourselves today. If we need to go back and re-expand our definitions and inclusions, then we have that opportunity to do that. And that is my opinion.
My next question regarding this topic, the sentence I read, which has been incorporated in countless data center ordinances and definitions, can we inform the public if we will review this immediately, pass this tonight, and review this immediately for an amendment immediately? Can we promise the residents that we will review this immediately?
I think it's been stated, it's under continuing review. It's an evolving process.
Continuing, with all due respect, with all due respect, Solicitor, continuing review and comments like that, I've heard that from some members of the governing body or some type of concept of that, and sometimes it doesn't get done in a timely manner. So we have a council meeting, when's our next council meeting? Second week of June? Can we have something on the docket to introduce an amendment by the second week of June?
If an amendment's necessary, that's the question, isn't it? Right? I mean, it's my office's opinion that one isn't, but at the end of the day, that's the governing body's decision. But our legal opinion is this is a comprehensive definition that is sufficient for the function that is meant to serve, which is to prohibit data centers. That's the function of the ordinance, and you can make something as comprehensive as you want and include any additional verbiage or sentences or paragraphs, but at the end of the day, it's about the function. And this functions to prohibit data centers, which is what the committee seeks to do.
So
can I ask you 2-3 questions? Because I don't think we got a clear answer. Were other towns reviewed for this ordinance, number one?
In the preparation of our ordinance, yes. Yeah, I think Chris Norman stated at the last meeting that when this was introduced, that yes, we reviewed several towns and what they've done and how they've defined it.
Do you know which towns there are?
I
Top of your head?
I believe they were North Jersey towns, municipalities.
I would have to speak with Mr. Norman.
I have a question. Could you say definitively that what was discussed tonight by Mr. Oates, if someone came and used those definitions, the ordinance that we have, will it protect us?
One of the AI campuses, one of
those different protect us?
I mean, that's something we'd have to take under internal
And that's a
review. I
problem.
can never guarantee anything.
So we just need to do whatever the minutes we're going to do as quickly as possible. at that point.
Right. If, we review it further and say that it's borderline, because a lot of these issues are going to be borderline when you're dealing with something extremely new as data centers, right? So, you know, if something like that comes along and we see those, you know, and that's another thing too, is we're seeing data centers, we're seeing those full data centers. If the other things start popping out, we believe that maybe they might not fully be included in this definition, then that's something to consider in the future, but, you know.
I think we all understand.
You understand what I'm saying as far as an AI campus, saying
Right,
we're going to be an AI campus, does that protect us?
As it's stated, does this protect you? I mean, like I said, everything's borderline when you're dealing with new technologies. You know, it's our legal opinion that this would protect from anything that can be considered a data center.
All right. I just think whatever amendments we need to make, we need to do that quickly as possible. But we need to pass something now.
I think we all agree, technology is constantly changing. It's a moving target. It's something that's going to need to be amended as we move forward.
Right.
I'm sure it will be. So I think it's most important we get something on the books, leave that in effect, and if it needs to be amended, then moving forward, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I do truly understand what Mr. Lucas is saying, that we should have did all of this beforehand, really looked at everything and everybody and how they're doing it, because it is changing. But right now, we are where we are, so let's get something on the books tonight, and let's move quickly. If we have to have an emergency meeting, let's do that.
I agree.
Ms. Doherty, may I have a roll call, please?
One final question, if I may. For future ordinances, because this is important, we had two different topics included in this ordinance, something in regards to data centers and cannabis facilities. Two completely different topics, I mean, completely different information incorporated. For the future, could we have introduced a data center ordinance and a micro-cannabis facility ordinance in the same meeting without any additional time?
Yes, yeah,
Okay. For, it's not on use list, obviously.
right. Sometimes for when you're doing something specific, like adding definitions or changing things or adding something to the same section of the code, typically it's easier to just do that in one ordinance. But obviously, it's, you know, the committee's prerogative. If, you know, that wants to be split out, obviously you can do that.
That's on the governing body. We make
Right.
that decision. Thank you, Solicitor. For the future, Mayor, when we have two topics that are significantly different in the future, can we please have two separate votes or have them introduced as two separate ordinances? Because there could be, the cannabis facility ordinance may be good, but the data center ordinance may not be okay. But the data center ordinance could be okay, but an aspect of the cannabis ordinance may not be okay. And we don't want one definition to impact another definition. So if we had an issue with the data center ordinance, that would prevent us from passing the cannabis aspect of that ordinance. That would be my final request.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Doherty, can we have a roll call, please?
You need a motion? Need a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion.
The motion. Oh, roll call, please.
Ben Borelli,
Needs some work, but yes.
Famini,
Yes.
Gleekis,
It needs work as well, but yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Leverett,
Yes.
Watkins,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Lawrence.
Yes. The second ordinance is an ordinance of the Township of Winslow, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, amending Article 2, Chapter 294-10, definitions to define the term data center and to amend and supplement Article 1, establishing Chapter 294-8.3, prohibited uses including data centers, and to repeal and replace Article 1, Chapter 294-8.2C6 of conditional uses for cannabis establishments within non-Pinelands areas of the Winslow Township Code. We have a memo dated May 22nd, 2026 from the Planning Board recommending the adoption of this ordinance. I will now open the hearing to the public. Is there anyone who wishes to address the public regarding just this ordinance?
So again, this ordinance is non-Pinelands. The first one was Pinelands. I just want to go on record again that I think this is a big loophole, and people are coming up to me, and I think these lawyers are smart enough and crafty enough to try to slither their way in. But I do agree something has to pass tonight. I think that, but I do think that you guys should have an urgency, so next time we come here, the amendments. But I personally believe, and I'm standing on my word as an administrator, that there is still a loophole in this, and I can't say I told you so, but I just hope that you really look at the language strongly, and I really believe it in my heart that something needs to be done. I'm glad you passed today, Mayor and governing body. I am so glad, but you have to close the loophole because someone will find it. And then, if you think the people in this room now, you just wait. You wait till what happened in Williamstown. So, please close the loophole.
I hope you weren't threatening us. I hope you weren't threatening us. I hope you weren't threatening us, but at any rate.
Mayor,
Can I get a motion to adopt? Well, may I get a motion to adopt, please?
Motion?
Can we have a roll
Let's-
call,
Sorry,
please?
I was not threatening anybody. Please don't
Thank
take
you.
it that way.
Well, that's the way I took it, but thank you. I accept your apology.
Let-
May we have a roll call, please, Ms. Doherty?
Yeah, Mayor, if I may real quick, too, I
Yeah.
just want to, because, this discussion of loopholes, I do think it's important, just for, the peace of mind of the public, to note that in these sorts of things, the municipality has the presumption of validity, and when passing and adopting these types of ordinances, intent matters. So it's hard to get through loopholes in a municipal ordinance, right? Because if they go in front of the planning board and the planning board interprets this ordinance as banning what they are trying to propose, a court is going to look at that, and we have boundless evidence here in the minutes and discussions that have been going on, that the committee tonight is trying to ban data centers. And that is the purpose, and all-encompassing. And that will be taken into account by a court. So intent is important, and the intent here is to ban data centers in the township.
Thank you.
I guess, if I may, Mayor,
Go ahead, you got it.
I guess with this particular ordinance, we are creating a brand-new definition. I think that's the area of concern some members of the governing body and members of the public have. It's a brand-new definition. We're not amending an old definition to be updated. We're putting forth a brand-new definition with possibly imminent applications. And I think that's the biggest concern. I do appreciate your legal counsel, though, Solicitor.
Thank you. May I get a motion to adopt?
Motion?
Second.
May I have a roll call, please, Ms. Doherty?
Committeeman Borelli,
Comments the same, it needs work, but yes.
Flamini,
Yes.
Fleekus,
Yes, however, it needs improvement.
Lee,
Yes.
Leverett,
Yes.
Watkins,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Lawrence.
Yes. There are 9 resolutions to be passed. Are there any resolutions any governing body wishes to withhold from the block vote?
Yes, Mayor. Resolution number 2, please. Resolution number 6. Resolution number 7. Resolution number 8. And resolution number 9, please.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve Resolution 1, 3 to 5?
Motion, Committeeman Watkins.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 2, authorizing cancellation of land sale taxes for 2026 due to exempt status per financial agreement with K. Hovnovian Villages at Hayes Mill Creek Urban Renewal LLC and the Township of Winslow. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to abstain from this.
I would like to abstain as well.
Okay. Resolution number 6, authorizing execution of termination of covenants and restrictions of Crown Heights Homeowners Association for real property located at 642 Chews Landing Road, and more particularly described as Block 405.01, Lot 2, 2.01 through 2.22 and 3, FKA Block 403, Lots 1 and 2 by the Township of Winslow. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Question on the motion, Mayor. May we have a explanation and review of Resolution 6? And I know Resolution 7 coincides with the same block of lots.
Yeah, name change.
What these deal with are the removal of the restrictions. The project was originally formed as a 24 single-family home residents off of Choose Landing Road, and now it's a developer's agreement for the Living Well Senior Housing project is 101 Living Well pieces, which is a really nice project. What they do is each individual homeowner, they can rent each individual cottage and receive medical care. It's a assisted living type thing. You can have 1 hour of care up to as much as you need. So those ordinances are all linked together.
So for Resolution 6 and 7, you said it was originally zoned for 24 units?
They were zoned for single-family homes there, yeah.
Single-family homes?
Yes.
At a max of 24 units?
That's what they were approved for.
And we're changing it to 101 units. Is that accurate?
We're not changing anything. These are just getting rid of the old covenants and developers agreement. It's already been before the planning board.
You mentioned
Sorry, it's
100.
been before the zoning board.
Zoning board, I
Yeah,
apologize.
but
Yeah,
You mentioned 101 units. Was that,
I believe that's the,
we're tearing down 101? Can you give me more?
there's nothing there now.
Yeah, okay, so there's
Right.
nothing there now.
Right.
It was zoned for 24, and you mentioned 101 units?
Single cottages, yes.
It's in the RH4 zone,
Right. It's a high-density
residential
zone.
high density.
Tiny homes.
You could have a lot more.
Yeah.
Wait, how could we have a lot more if it was zoned for 24?
It's not zoned for, they were approved. It was a project they were trying to build it. It didn't, it fell through.
So the 24 units fell through, and now they're
Yeah.
planning for
And
101?
I believe that was 24. I don't remember the number, but I believe it was 24.
Do we have an idea what the max units could be built in that property under the current zoning without any additional variances?
RH4, more than,
More than that.
more than that.
How many
It
acres?
was gone before the zoning board and approved.
How many acres roughly?
Yeah, it's for 111 age-restricted, 65 and over, cottage-style senior living. I'd have to look up the acreage. It's quite substantial. I don't know what the acreage is.
And what type of units are these 111 again, just to verify?
Single cottages for assisted living.
So it's going to be operating?
They try to keep seniors, it's an affordable way, because people can't afford assisted living. You go into any of these homes, and it's, $5,000, $6,000 a month. These cottages provide for very low rent, and you don't have to take complete assisted living right away. You can get an hour a week, and then as longer you're there, you can pay. If you need more assisted living, then you pay more as you go. There's one down in Violin, and there's one here. These are like really great ideas, and it really helps out the seniors who need assisted living who can't afford it.
So it's going to be set up as cottages, and is there going to be like a central, community hub or center?
Yeah, they have an office there, yes.
An office for
For their people, and then they call in the nurses, visiting nurses, and things like that.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution number 7, authorizing the execution of extinguishment of various easements for Crown Heights FKA Fairfield Lane subdivision on real property located at 642 Choose Landing Road, and more particularly described as Block 405.01, Lots 2, 2.01 through 2.22 and 3, FKA Block 403, Lots 1 and 2 by the Township of Winslow. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 8, awarding a contract to provide and collect front-load containers and roll-off containers. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Quick question on the motion. Administrator, could you just do a quick review for the public of this one?
Yeah, this is any kind of the roll-offs or dumpsters that we utilize for apartment complexes and parks and things like that. It's a 5-year contract. And I believe it was Suburban who received the award.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just to be clear for the residents, it's for a contract, not for actually purchasing dumpsters.
That's correct.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 9, amended resolution authorizing execution of First Amendment to Developers Agreement by Winslow Township to permit assignment of rights and obligations from LWM Pre-Development LLC assigner to Winslow Acquisition Partners LLC assignee for the development of real property at Block 405.01, Lot 3.01, formerly known as Block 405.01, Lots 2, 2.01 through 2.22 and 3 in the Township of Winslow. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Question and a motion, please. Can we have a review of this, please?
It's the same exact,
Same
yeah,
thing.
just explaining. It's the, they changed the name, they had the erroneous names, they needed a new name.
Oh, the name change then?
Yes.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have public building and grounds applications for Girl Scout Troop 30725 for Friday, June the 12th, 2026, from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Senior Center. Can I get a motion? to
Motion,
approve?
Committee
Second.
Watkins.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have one business license. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion, Committee
Second,
Watkins.
Committeeman Gleekes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're at public participation. May I have a motion to open public participation?
Motion, Committee Watkins.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Before we open up, anyone speaking before, state their name and address for the record. If you are a covered person under Daniel's law, you are not required to state your address, but please give your information to the municipal clerk, who will keep your information confidential. Has anyone signed up? Here is the sheet. Okay. Wanda Glad.
Good evening again, governing body, Mayor Lawrence, and all the residents here in Winslow Township. I just wanted to read something that laid on my heart. I stand before you today not as only a resident, but someone who deeply is invested in the future of our community. I speak from a place of humility and respect. So right now, our community is divided on many levels. Republicans versus Democrats, one race against another race, and even people within the same community divided against one another. And the list can go on. Now, competition itself is not a bad thing. In many ways, competition can be healthy, but it becomes harmful when competition turns into division. When personal interests outweigh the interests of the community as a whole. When this happens, it begins to weaken the integrity and foundation of what community really stands for. What we sometimes forget is that Winslow Township is a great place to live. We are a beautifully diverse community because we have great people who live here. We are made up of different cultures, backgrounds, economic levels, talents, and experiences. Those differences are real, but so are the things that connect us. If we can just pause, even for a moment, and focus more on what unites us rather than what divides us, we have the potential to become a truly united Winslow. Each of us should take a moment to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, do I want to play a role in dividing this community, or do I want to be a part of the person who plays to bring this community together? Growth and development are inevitable. We all know because we see it happening around us. As many of you do, I drive through our neighborhoods, and I see the new homes being built, starting prices around $300,000. We see luxury apartments charging over $2,000 for one bedroom, $2,500 for a two bedroom, and nearly $2,900 for the three bedrooms, and these are the starting prices. That development tells us something very clearly. Our township is targeting a new socioeconomic demographics, and that is a great thing. So the question becomes, are we planning for that growth responsibly? Is the entire governing body, the Board of Education, community leaders, business owners, and residents working together to ensure that the growth and development of our township is sustainable for years to come? Are we investing in our schools at the same pace that we are investing in development? Because when families decide to live here, one of the first things that they look at is the quality of the school district. And let the truth be told, our school district is performing. We are improving, we are succeeding, not only academically, but also in athletics, the arts, theater, media, and band. Many of our graduates have gone to Ivy League schools, universities, and colleges, have become engineers, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, business owners, and other successful professionals. Many of them also came back to Winslow Township to give back to this township after they became successful. And that is the truth about Winslow Township. But are we having the necessary conversations about infrastructure, resources, and preparations for the future? Because whether we are ready or not, growth is coming. And finally, I want to talk about unity. Over the past several meetings, we have all witnessed division, whether the topic was the prison proposal, apartment developments, or whatever issue comes next. The issues may change, but the division remains. So I ask, how do we come together? How do we create meaningful opportunities for dialogue? Maybe we can start doing roundtables, town halls, and honest conversations where residents truly feel heard. And more importantly, how do our elected officials truly listen to the people who put them in office? Because if you're not reaching out to your constituents, then shame on you. If you are helping shape this township without a shared vision and without listening to the people who actually live here, then shame on you. And if decisions are being influenced by people who do not live here and that are not affected by our schools, our police department, our fire department, or our infrastructure, then we are failing the very people we were once elected and entrusted to serve. This community deserves better. We deserve transparency, we deserve unity, and we deserve leadership that listens. And I'll leave you with this. A community cannot truly thrive without unity, and unity begins with listening, respect, and a shared commitment to every resident. To the Winslow Township governing body, the Winslow Township School District, community leaders, business owners, and residents. No matter what your political party you represent, no matter your religious belief, the color of your skin, or your economic status, if you live in Winslow, then we are Winslow residents first. We may not always agree, and that is okay. In fact, disagreement is not our weakness. It is actually an opportunity. It is an opportunity for us to come together, listen, and share different perspectives. Because when we truly listen to one another, we may realize that our interests are already aligned. A united community, a prosperous community, a safe, stable place to live, work, and raise our families. And if we commit to ourselves, to listening, respecting one another, and working together, there is no limit to what we can build. Together, we can continue to strengthen Winslow Township. Together, we can continue to grow Winslow Township. And together, we can continue building the township where people will want to come live to this great place called Winslow Township. Thank you.
Patty Joffrey.
Okay. My name is Patty Giaffre. I am a 39-year Winslow resident and a 31-year Girl Scout leader. I would like to thank you for, well, thank you. I understand where everybody is coming from, and I understand that everybody has their very passionate beliefs, but I'm a Girl Scout leader, and I always try to look at the positives. So the first thing I would like to say is to the Township Committee, to Mayor Lawrence, and all of you who are up here, thank you. Because I wouldn't want to be in your position trying to do the best I think of for the township and always feeling like pot shots are being shot at me. And I know that's what it has to feel to a lot of you. So I appreciate what you're trying to do. I may not always agree with the way you're doing it, and I think a lot of you feel the same way. I think the respect factor that Ms. Wanda talked about is an absolute imperative in our township in order for any of us to get anywhere. I think we all want to see the best township we can have, and the only way to do that is to, you know, coordinate and be together, and that's just my opinion. And that completely sidetracks what I was coming here for. My Girl Scouts on June 12th will be running a teen mental health fair. It's a free event for township and community members and even people outside of the township. If you have children or grandchildren that are teenagers, There's going to be crafts and games and snacks. We have a social worker that's going to be there. There's going to be activities talking about kids, getting kids off of their devices. And my girls, one of the things they did was a digital detox, which was getting off their phones, because some of them, we actually looked at their times that they were on the phones, and the numbers, embarrassingly enough, including myself, were way more than I expected anybody to do. So these are really important things. I have some flyers if anybody is interested. I did leave some for all of you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what's your name? Lisa. Lisa. So she's got copies of everything. But again, I just want to take a minute to say thank you for all of your hard work on all of our behalf.
Thank you. Michael Kretschmer.
Just to clarify real quick, that's Friday, June 12th, 5 PM to 9 PM.
Well, the event is 6 to 8. The girls are set up and clean up.
So 6 to 8 PM at the Windsor Senior Center, correct?
Lisa has flyers for all of us.
I'm going to leave them in the back of the room. If anybody, just take them when you leave.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to second those, this is Michael Kretschmer from 7 Whiting Street. I already signed up on the sheet, of course, but I want to thank the governing board, and I wanted to second the speaker's sentiments, and that's why I'm here tonight to talk about Toastmasters again, like I always do, to try to promote finding your voice and being a better leader in your community. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. And I want to thank the Environmental Commission for letting me promote Toastmasters at the Green Fair coming up this weekend, like you mentioned, and also on June 13th at the Juneteenth Festival, that we'll have a table there as well. So I want to hope to see everybody there, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick Oates.
I don't know if I could top Toastmasters, but there's something in the Bible I read that you set the atmosphere. And Ms. Claude, I'm still gleaming off of your words. You just changed the atmosphere in this room. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that these meetings are taped. I think that's the camera right there. So we're getting towards transparency. I would ask the governing body to do like the school board. Let's live stream it. If they can do it, we can do it. And I think that would be full transparency, because I know a lot of people can't make the meeting. I asked my wife. She told me right now she'd rather be home. But and she'll watch it online. Yeah, it's true. It's true. She doesn't come out. But I think for full transparency, it would be nice for us to live stream it so there is no he said, she said. We can see for ourselves instead of waiting a day or two for the tape to come out. But I'm glad of that. So I know you're going to answer questions, and I hope you do, because I ask these questions and I don't get answers or they glossed over. So talking about the U-Haul, one of the amendments that wasn't open to the public, there's a 5-year, first of all, let me back up. I'm for growth, especially on Route 73 corridor. I think we need the new homes. I think we need to expand that area. I think we need a supermarket there. I think that's a potential right there that would help grow this township and take some of it off the Ward 3 residents, and I think that would be better. So that being said, people are, in my mind, people are clamoring to build in Winslow Township. So I don't understand this $700,000 project that we're given a 5-year tax abatement. If my numbers are right, 0% taxes the first year, 20% the second year. They pay 40% the third year, 60% the fifth year, and then they pay full taxation afterwards. So that being said, I have a couple questions. So the first one is, can someone explain the public benefit analysis that was used to justify this abatement? Specifically, how many jobs are expected to be created, and what measurable economic benefits are anticipated for Winslow Township residents? Because I don't see the value of offering these guys this abatement. Number two, what would the estimated tax revenue be over 5 years without the abatement compared to payments that you actually receive? Because from all my research, you guys get the tax abatement, I don't know where it goes, and goes to a pot of money. It doesn't go towards the school system. It doesn't go towards lowering our property taxes. So I'm not sure how you administrate it, but I'd like to know that answer. Question number 3, has the township established any performance expectations regarding employment, local hiring, or business activity, or is the abatement granted regardless of future outcomes? Question number 4, whether these incentives are necessary. I'm going to stop right there, but in case you want to answer my questions, I'm going to leave that with you. And just 2 more things. So I promise you, you won't hear this again. This is my 4th time coming before the governing body. And for this fiscal year, which I think it ends in June, you won't hear me talk about tax abatements anymore. Again, I think it's important for the residents to know, to understand from each member up here, what your feelings are on tax abatements. I know last time, the mayor, you deferred to the experts, and I understand that, but I really want to hear what you guys feel, and especially the people that are running for office. I want to hear what your feelings on tax abatement, your personal feelings. The only one that's really said something about it was Committeeman Borelli. Everybody else, I have not heard. I really would like to know that question. Okay, and the second question, and I know, Mayor, you like to put out rumors. I mean, not put out rumors, to squelch rumors and make sure there are no rumors. Because there's a lot of things on Winslow Talk, you know, people say there's propaganda, this, that, and the other. But I think I heard something about the school board is working on a 5-year strategic plan. And they sent an olive branch to the, and this is what I'm hearing, they sent an olive branch to the governing body. And the governing body, someone, I don't know if it's from your office or somebody has the power, they canceled the meeting. So the school board is moving on, as far as what I understand from attending the meetings. They're working on a 5-year strategic plan. I really think the governing body should be involved with that. There should be some type of collaborative effort. I have not heard anything about that. And the final thing I want to say, and Ms. Gore said it well, regardless of what side of the aisle you are, we're all people. If somebody on the right side of the aisle has an idea, you should be able to support it. If somebody on the left side of the aisle, I'm talking Democrat, Republican if you don't know, you should be able to support it and not say give them a win or you're talking to them. It shouldn't be that way. I've been accused of talking to them. I talk to everybody because my background, where I came from in Ivory Stone, my Air Force, all that stuff taught me diversity. So it's not about giving somebody a win. It's about working together. And the residents in here, they want to see you guys work together, whether the committee, if you have an idea, let's support it. If Committeeman Wilson has an idea, let's support it. Let's work together. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of signs right here that says Winslow United. You know who did that? I did. I put those signs there. And it's not about Democrat, and it's not about Republican. It's about United for the community. Thank you.
Stephen McCray.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve McCray. I live at 124 Golden Meadow Lane here in Sicklerville. I just have a question in reference to like taxes concerning my residents. I have had an issue concerning my tax. I've been here for 6 years roughly, and my taxes that I'm paying right now is I'm paying way more than anybody in my entire community. And I asked the question when I came down to I guess to appeal it. And the answer I was given is, well, I'm not here to discuss your taxes. Your taxes were put up that way prior to me taking this position. And if I can't sell my house for less than $500,000, then I'm not changing your taxes. So I find that I'm almost paying $17,000 for a house. that's here, and no one else is paying that. So I just need to know a better answer into why that is happening and who had the opportunity to single this particular house out to have it paying that much for taxes. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the address, sir?
124 Golden Meadow Lane.
Carrie Schreiber, 407 on Tansboro Road.
I'm sorry, this is my first time here, and I just thought we had to sign in.
Oh, okay.
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas, 16 Pinewood Lane, also president of the state champion back-to-back Winslow Township School District. I must give honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ before I go on with what I got to say here. And Mr. Flamini, I thank you for acknowledging our marching band because they are phenomenal. So is our track team is phenomenal. So is our Studio 106 digital team is phenomenal. But I want to talk about a girl named Crystal. Crystal is our top student here in Winslow Township, and last week we honored her. So I just want to prepare something to talk about Crystal. Last week we gathered together to talk about excellence, dedication, perseverance, and purpose. It is truly an honor to be before you today to talk about an extraordinary young woman whose accomplishments have placed her among the very best in the state of New Jersey. On the behalf of our community, school district, family, and friends, it was my pleasure to talk about Crystal Wamble, the valedictorian of the graduating class and a Merit Scholar finalist, an achievement that places her among the top 5% in her graduating seniors of the state of New Jersey. So that was the best going against the best in education, and she placed in the top 5%. Crystal's academic journey has been nothing short of exceptional through her outstanding SAT scores, advanced placement and honors coursework throughout her 4 years of high school, and an incredible 5.156 GPA. She has demonstrated what is possible through discipline, focus, and determination. Her achievement as valedictorian is a reflection not only of her academic excellence, but also of her consistency in leadership, commitment to being the very best version of herself every single day. As a proud member of the National Honor Society, an active participant in community service initiatives dedicated to giving back, Crystal has shown that leadership is not simply about achievement, but about lifting others while climbing herself. Crystal's hard work has committed her to earn a full scholarship to Princeton University, where she plans to study medicine with the goal of becoming a neurosurgeon. That dream speaks not only to her intelligence, but her courage, compassion, and desire to make difference in the lives of others. Crystal's story is already inspiring. She has shown younger students what dedication looks like, what sacrifice produces, and what faith in your future can achieve. Her journey reminds us all that excellence is not accidental. It is earned through hard work, resilience, and humility and purpose. And I'd like to take the time to congratulate her, our top student, as in the top 5% in the state of New Jersey, coming out of Winslow Township School District.
Mr. Thomas, Mr. Thomas, I have a question. What is Crystal's last name again?
I'm pronouncing it wrong?
All right, you'll give me the spelling?
I will.
Yeah, you can get it after the meeting. Okay. Is there anyone else who wishes to address this governing body? Hearing none and seeing none, can I get a motion to close public? Oh.
Mayor, Governing Board, my name's Tony. I live in Sicklerville. I just had a couple of things to bring up. Chris and I Chris Williams and I went up to the county commissioners' meeting the other day to talk about the roads, and we were welcomed with open arms. I was really pleased how they came to us even after the meeting to talk to us. And I also see that they're doing some kind of work there. I'm not sure if it's exactly what we need, but they're doing something. Mayor, I also want to say something to you. I know you're catching a lot of flack for things that happened before you got in office. So if you get trampled on, please don't take it personal. Just know, just know the source.
I don't.
What I really wanted to speak about is something that Mr. Oates also spoke about is this pilot program. Those of you who do not know what pilot is, it's payment that the builder pays in payment in lieu of taxes. So these guys are getting 30-year pilot or abatements, and from what I've read, the reason to offer them these pilot programs is to draw people into an area that is kind of like depressed and really in need of help. Well, I don't think it meets that criteria here in Winslow Township. Already, especially Sicklerville, already we are jammed up with projects that can't be changed. You know, education is the best thing in the world. I used to be a teacher. I have one of my colleagues sitting over here. So you would want to learn more and more. And as I learn, and as my cousin Tina has learned, we're trying to figure things out. But I see that certain builders, and we're going to speak with the one, because that's the one we're focused on, is the one who created the My Place and the area where they have storage, and that building that they've built that nobody knows what it's going to be on Williamstown. I guess that's Sicklerville Road. And then there's the property that we're concerned about, which is next to between the Wawa and the deli. And from what I understand, this gentleman has not been fulfilling the agreements with which he has acquired the pilot program. One being, he built the residential area, but he did not continue with the section at the end, which would be for commercial advancement in the township, where we would receive some benefit from that. That property remains dead. He has sold the property, so whatever is going to happen to that property, we probably won't know for a long time. It'll probably sit idle for a long time. And as I was driving past this property that is next to the deli and the fire, it's the deli, then the car wash, and then the property, as far as I know, you as a body have approved the building, but it has not gone to the zoning board and the planning board, correct? So as you drive past it, there have been, is that correct?
No.
They have passed both?
Which one?
The planning board and the zoning board?
Which property?
The 108 we're calling it.
No.
They haven't been to the plan yet.
Okay, that was my understanding.
Right.
But as you drive past it, there has been some activity there. And I'm concerned about that activity because they are cutting through the woods. They have made a road, and we were under the impression that nothing should be happening there at the moment. So maybe we could get somebody to look into that situation, because this guy seems a little slippery. And I just want to make sure that things are going where they're supposed to be going, because we're still not happy with them putting a residential area there in the commercial area. Like I said before at a meeting, that area is all commercial. It should remain commercial, and we shouldn't be putting houses in the middle. It's like putting, houses right next to, between the Walmart and the Kmart, or the Walmart and the supermarket. You just don't do that kind of thing, and that's what they're trying to do there. And I just wanted to make one more comment about with Wanda and Mr. Oates also said. my feeling on the separation in this town, the division in this town. I was brought up with the idea that God created everybody, and there was only 8 people on the ark. If you want to believe it, there was 8 people on the ark. They weren't black people, they weren't white people, they were just people. And we all came from them. So we are all the same. And we should all feel the same. Sometimes people get crazy and say things, but we all say things that are crazy, and even to family members that we don't really mean, but we say it, and then we have to backstep. But what I want to say to this body and to the people of Winslow Township, I love this township, I've told you that before, and I want everybody to think before they talk, and I want everybody to love one another in this township. Doesn't matter where you live, what town, what part of the township you live in, but if you could possibly think before you speak and love the other people. Amen? Thank you.
Abina McClendon, Primrose Gate, Ward 3. First, I want to say is,
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Please address us. Everybody
okay,
get-
I was talking to everybody because everybody's in the room, so I want to
No.
talk to everybody. First, I want to say, Mr. Thomas, thank you for sharing that about the school district. As a former board member, that's one of the things that we look at is to push Winslow to the highest mark as possible. We hear so much about Winslow, this, that, not good enough, the kids aren't good enough, the curriculum's not good enough, but when we hear the praises about students who achieve and excel, that continues to warm my heart because that was one of the things that, as a board member, I looked at and constantly told people, before you start talking about Winslow, go into the schools, make an appointment, stop listening to other people because the naysayers will say it. So I want to thank you for sharing that information. So I actually had an announcement. We've been talking about all this houses building, the 24 houses, now they're not 24, now they're 111. The Village of Camden County is having a home buyers event coming up on June the 6th at 4 p.m. At the VFW, which is 506 Sickler Ave. I ask that if you're interested, please come out because there's a lot of things that you can learn, some tips and nips. One of the things I just discovered is that if you purchased a home and used the home buyer, first-time buyer money, that after 3 years, you can use it again. So there's a lot of things that's going out here right now. And if you want to be a home buyer, we want to make sure that, again, as I mentioned before, Mayor Lawrence, when there's a need, we look at filling the need. And right now, there are people that do need homes. So if you are interested in wanting to be a home buyer or learning how to get on track to be a homeowner, I ask that you join us on June the 6th at 4 p.m. at the VFW so that you can gain some knowledge about moving forward with your asset and your investments. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the governing body? Hearing none, Mrs. Goddard.
First of all, good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
I don't usually be here, but I'm happy that I was here tonight. My name is Evelyn Goddard. Some people may know me.
She's a retired Winslow educator.
Yes, 41 years. So happy to hear about that young lady. Winslow is still doing it. I've lived here for 54 years. And I remember when Mayor Barry was mayor, he had up a sign that said, "No place for hate
Exactly.
in Winslow."
Exactly.
I would love to see it up again.
Okay.
Because I don't like all the stuff that I heard tonight. He said, "No place for hate in Winslow Township." I was happy to hear that something is being done for assisted living. Because if you live long enough, you're going to need some assistance. And Winslow doesn't have that. So, well, there is one, but it's 2 places, but that's small. So I was happy to hear that something is being done about assisted living in this township. Because I plan to be here until the good Lord say,
Okay.
I gotta go. I love Winslow. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address the governing body? Hearing none and seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to close public participation.
Move to
Motion,
close.
Committeeman Watkins.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I got a lot of notes up here on this sheet, a lot of notes. You know, this township was unified. And I'll use the word disunification. In my estimation, took place earlier this year. We were called all kind of names. We were told what to grow, where to go, because people assumed a lot of things, and I'm referring to the jail. They don't know how much work went into that. They don't know how many tears were shed about that. And then it was done, when it was done, that it wasn't coming here, folks were mad. Oh, I did not know we could get this. I did not know we could get that. There were rumors your taxes were going to go through the ceiling. The schools were going to be overrun. Police and fire were not going to be able to keep up. Those are the rumors that were out there. They were not facts. And we sat up here and absorbed it. I leave here some nights and I just wonder, why am I doing this? Because I love Winslow. Disunity doesn't happen overnight, over a period of time. Many of you have not been here as we have sat here, and we've heard the insults. We've heard the racial slurs. We've watched as they were being said, and people sat back and smiled. They thought it was funny. Hurtful. Remember what I said at the last meeting? You can slap me and say you're sorry, but my face is still stinging. That's how it felt. But Winslow, we do need to come together. Wanda, I do agree with you that we do need to come together because this is not Winslow. As Mrs. Goddard said, Barry's sign up on the board said, hate has no home in Winslow. I don't know what we need to do to bring everybody together, to get on one page, because it's not good. And we can't not survive like this at all. As far as the township is concerned, we've been doing a lot of things here for the quality of life of our residents. That's great that that student has a 5-point-something average. But what about that student that got that 1.2? You know? What about that student? That's the forgotten student. And that's the student that we try to help when we have those job fairs. We got kids in the union that never thought they were going to get in the union. Where's John Shaw? I thought I saw him in here. His carpenters union, the electricians, the plumbers, they come to us. We have job fairs, in case you don't know, every 6 months. And the kids are in there from the school with their resumes looking for jobs because that's their survival. That's how they're able to survive. We've had expungement. Everybody's not perfect, and everybody is under the misconception that because you're going to an expungement, you done killed somebody, you done beat somebody. No, there are a lot of dumb, minor offenses that people committed when they were 16, 17, 18 years old, and now they're going to get jobs, they're going to do different things in their livelihood. I talked to one guy, he was trying to start a business, and he told me he had something happen to him when he was 19 years old, and it popped up, and he's in his 50s. So the expungement program is going hand in hand with our job search. Do you know how many people we had there to get their records expunged? 38. Is that a message? We're not a perfect society, but we're striving to get better. We have a health fair here. People come and get their shots. When I first got on this governing body, I was given the Board of Health, and it was a joke. All you got to do is have a health fair once a year. Well, guess what? They didn't know who they were dealing with. The county was having all kind of health meetings. I went to every meeting. Guess what? Winslow had a 30-foot medical van showing up, giving free medical checks. We had a 25-foot medical van, an eye vision van, South Jersey Vision. They were coming out to Family Day. They were giving free eye checks, and Tuesday you could go into Camden and get your glasses. We had the South Jersey black nurses out there. They were in the park all day giving blood pressure checks. We had an assortment of events. Since I've been mayor, I've brought other events in for the township. We revitalized, and this is part of growing the community. 4th of July, we hadn't had it in 15 years. Hello? We hadn't had 4th of July fireworks in 15 years. Remember that? Okay. We have painting in the park. We have families out there. Wanda, you've been out there with your family. It's a nice, relaxing afternoon in our parks. Last year, we instituted the kites into it. The county comes down with their health fair to give all different kinds of shots. Last month, we were out, earlier this month, we were out in the community. We were naming community assets. We named the street for Wanda's mother. We named the parks in West Atco, Walter Johnson III Park, Alberta Green Park, Orlando Covington Way, and Damian Covington has a plaque. This is the stuff this governing body has been doing in the midst of all the drama that's been going on. We've been keeping our heads to the grindstone, and we've been working for this community. We started out 3 years ago. It took us 2 years to get Division of Motor Vehicle here. You know what happens now? We can hardly get it. Towns with 10 people are pulling them. We're lucky if we can get them once every other month. But this is what's happening in your town. You need to get on some of our websites so you can get notifications of when we're having all the different events. We got the National Night Out with the police. That's a great event. So I'm saying all that to say those are all events that draw the community together. They're for the community. And you've got to come out and start participating in them. Meet your neighbor. Meet somebody that may not look like you. I have a lady that comes to all the painting in the park events. I think she's got 5 granddaughters, and they don't miss one. We have people come to painting in the park having birthday parties. This is community. This is community. Last year we had kites. We had people running with babies in their arms, flying kites. Kids didn't know what the kites were. They'd never seen them. This generation, they don't know what a kite is. But this is the type of things that's been happening here in Winslow. We've been doing things. Contrary to what happens in this building, we're out in the community. Easter egg hunt, 1,500 kids running around the field. National Night Out, Juneteenth, Family Day. This is what's been happening. And I'm going to skip around. Somebody talked about the school district is trying to do a long-term plan. We don't know nothing about it. We were scheduled for a meeting with them, and something came up and we canceled it. But I don't know anything about a strategic plan that's been planned for the school district. We've been working with the school district during the storm. They ran out of salt. Winslow Township, Johnny on the spot with the salt. Buses couldn't get into schools. Winslow Township Public Works out there plowing the driveways. So you talk about unity, we're doing what we need to do, but I think some of you out here, y'all need to step up and help us, because we need help. Like I said, we sit up here and we get it. And I told you at the other meeting, I see the facial. I see the body language. You don't see it. All you see is the backs. We see the faces, the squirming, rolling of the eyes, attitudes. That's fine. You're a taxpayer. We're going to sit up here and we take it. But we should not have to take it. I'm going to move on. The Girl Scouts, okay, you guys are good. Michael and your Toastmasters, you're good. Michael here. Patrick Oates, we're working on live streaming. Yeah, it was a 5-year. School district has a 5-year strategic plan. We haven't gotten a letter or anything about it. So, hold it, please. Hold it, please. I'm just saying, you said a 5-year strategic plan. I know nothing about it. Does anybody on this governing body know anything about a 5-year school district strategic plan?
They've mentioned it multiple times in multiple meetings.
Really? You've been at school board meeting?
They have mentioned
Did you
it.
bring it back to us?
I'm-
No, I have not. You did not say, you said they had a meeting that they wanted us to come to. We don't know anything about it. We're more than happy to sit down at the table with you, Joe. Really. But I'm just getting this off my chest so the community knows we're doing what we need to do. Okay, thank you. Golden Meadow Lane, Mr. McCrary. Get with Mr. Gallagher before we leave tonight, okay? All right. Tony, on the county roads, it's a long term. It's a long term. I used to go to a couple of county events, and the person, I'm not going to name no names, that was in charge of the roads, he got up at a meeting and he called me out. He said every time he goes to a meeting, the mayor's slipping a note in his pocket. And that note would say, we need our roads fixed, and I would name the roads. And eventually, some of our roads are getting repaired. And I know it's not when we want it, but it's being worked on. And that's all I got.
Tax abatements, I can.
Yeah.
In reference to the tax abatements, and our CFO can, assist me with that as well. The tax abatements are critical throughout the entire state of New Jersey and every municipality. There's all types. There's the 30-year, the 15-year, there's the 5-year, and Mr. Rhodes referred to the U-Haul tax abatement. That one is a 5-year, and once we receive the tax money, it's for commercial property. There's 2 ways to get tax abatement. It's been an ordinance since 1997, and it goes with Title 40 in congruence with state law and approved by our assessor's office. And it's critical in expanding our tax base to keep the taxes at a reasonable amount, so we don't have to raise taxes or exorbitant amount each year. And it does hit on certain areas. The commercial, and commercial properties are very difficult to get right now. These commercial ordinances, you either expand more than 30% of your existing, which is an addition of your existing property, like the U-Haul, or it's a standalone, it's more than 5,000 square feet, and it's only a tax abatement on that particular structure. So with the U-Haul, everything else on that property still goes in the regular taxes, and the school, fire, and everybody gets the taxes from a 5-year tax abatement. It does not get distributed like some of the pilot programs. And also, you talk about commercial properties as well. I know you said that one gentleman mentioned in Sicklerville Road, the one empty piece of property, Mr. Patron. That particular piece of property, they are trying to market that as commercial, and you say it was depressed. I've been here for 19 years, and I've ridden, we rode past that one lot where the Brightmoor is. It had a telephone pole with a wire and homeless people living there for like 15 years. Nobody was coming near that property. Nobody was coming near the storage property across the street. Nobody was coming near the property, the enclaves across from the school. We had to attract them because the market is cyclical. In 2008, we had the housing crash. Nobody was building, And all these projects along the line come in at different times. They start at different times, and they take years to start building. So if we didn't have these programs, our taxes would be, in 08, we were looking at desperate times. We had layoffs. We laid off police. We had to go through furlough days and things like that. Times were tough. We lost $4 million in state aid. So over the years, we have to be aggressive as smart growth to make sure that the township moves forward, able to keep a stable tax base and a bond rating that is excellent right now, AA-, which is wonderful. We can get money at a lower tax rate, and to keep smart growth going. The commercial piece, And again, we have to look at some of our ordinances, and change. I know, we disagreed on some things, for the liquor licenses and things like that, but, in order to attract more restaurants and things like that, we have to look at certain things to be able to draw more people and draw more businesses in. And that's what tax abatements are about. We started on Cross Keys Road, and we had, Creamies. That was it. No, we got our Anchor store, we got the auto lenders, and we got CarMax and things like that. We had to attract them. And somebody had mentioned a supermarket. We love to have a supermarket. You know how many supermarkets I've contacted, over the years? We have had Aldi and everybody trying to get the Blue Anchor Junction sitting up there empty. That's been an empty commercial property since the day I started almost 20 years ago. It was approved, and it's still sitting there. It's in the Pinelands, it's commercial, it's very difficult. So these are the kind of things that we face, the challenges we face to make sure that these projects are able to smart growth. It just so happens that the economy got well, the growth was well in one area, and everybody wanted to build at once. But it's cyclical. In a few years, it will change. And then, even ask Warren Buffett. He recently said that, if you're 65 and older right now and you're heading toward retirement, things are going to be very difficult, because the things that cost retirees the most are, energy costs, healthcare costs, and housing. It's going to be very difficult for people to survive in coming times. So we have to be ahead of the curve. We have to make sure that we see things that are coming, to make sure that we're at least doing things smartly. Sometimes not always the most popular thing with some people, but you have to make sure that we're growing smart, and that's what we continue to do. Anything on the pilots that you want to mention?
Yeah, I know I've been asked the question a couple times, and I know I've answered it a couple of times as well. There's this phrase that's used that it goes into a big pot of money and nobody knows where it goes. Well, that money gets anticipated in our budget. Last year, we anticipated over $1.4 million of our tax abatement and pilot revenue to offset those costs to the taxpayers. So while it is a pot of money, it's a pot of money that goes back into our budget, reinvests into the community, and helps our tax base.
So, Mr. Dringas, you're saying that money is used in all different areas. It can be used to pay salaries, or buy equipment that we need, or give it to Public Works so they can fix the roads and plow the snow and that kind of thing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. I hope that answers the questions.
Okay. Before I ask for the closing prayer, are there any other comments by any officials?
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, he's going to see Joe.
I have a few comments, if I may. I may reiterate a couple things, because there's a lot of topics we went over, so please bear with me. I would like to personally continue to advocate for an amended data center ordinance with additional language included that we discussed tonight. Regarding the comments by the residents, I very much appreciate those comments of unity. I agree with you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I hope every member of this governing body is open and willing to have a conversation with you. I am as well. Girl Scouts, hopefully I can make it. I plan on being there. Toastmasters, I'll speak with you, I'm sure, after the meeting. Regarding YouTube, I would like to thank two individuals on this governing body for the YouTube, particularly Committeeman Watkins, thank you, and Committeeman Borelli. When there was a motion put forth, that motion failed. But you two individuals stood up for what was right. And I sincerely appreciate that, because you did what was for the residents. I thank you for that, Mr. Watkins and Mr. Borelli. Regarding the 5-year tax abatement, I've had plenty of conversations regarding pilots and tax abatements. I may not be the most pro-pilot or pro-tax abatement person, so some individuals may have been shocked that I voted for this. Regarding this particular utilization of a tax abatement, it was for five years This abatement program was passed by this governing body on October 28th, 1997, with the sole purpose of attracting commercial property in certain specific industries, not for residential, specifically for commercial to help improve our tax base. And there are prerequisites to apply for that particular five-year tax abatement. With the tax abatement, it's an incremental increase, 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, or 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 over the course of 5 years. Those funds are allocated appropriately to all entities, unlike a pilot program, which is only is only received by the governing body, by the township at 95% and 5% being allocated to the county. Within reason, a 5-year tax abatement to incentivize commercial can be good for our community when used appropriately. In this particular sense, I believe it was used appropriately to incentivize this commercial property for the longevity of improving our tax base. There's a difference between incentivizing commercial and incentivizing residential property and high-density residential property that has significant impact on our resources. The 5-year strategic plan. President Joe Thomas of the school board, I would like to sit down with you, and I'll be more than willing to have a conversation regarding the strategic plan of the 5 years for the school board. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. You have brought that to the attention of the governing body multiple times. Thank you. I want to have a conversation with you. My apologies. There was a letter we received, I just received it May 26th, 2026, which was tonight, regarding, it was Schoolhouse Lane, a speed reduction by a multitude of residents. Current speed is estimated to be 50 miles an hour. The request is for 35 miles per hour. I would like to direct our police department and its governing body to have a speed study conducted to see if we can have this reduced. Solutions. We have a lot of concerns, we have a lot of issues, and a lot of information going on. Solutions come when we have a more inclusive governing process, when we listen to other governing body members, residents, business owners, stakeholders all over Windsor Township. The concerns that have been brought to my attention as governing body's attention, to my knowledge, have been pretty clear and transparent. Overdevelopment of high-density residential housing, increased traffic patterns, concerns regarding environmental concerns and water consumption, increased motor vehicle accidents, loss of agricultural land, loss of open space. These are not isolated issues. These are impacting everybody in Winslow Township. They're interconnected. They're challenges. The question is, how do we find appropriate solutions, and how do we move forward presently and for the near future? A major part of the solutions about some of these issues we're dealing with right now require immediate action. What type of action? The action is for an immediate and expedited review of both the non-Pinelands and Pinelands master plans. As I stated in previous meetings, and it has been stated in previous meetings by professionals and members of the governing body, the master plan governs the zoning ordinances of Winslow Township. The non-Pinelands master plan governs approximately 20% of our zoning, while the Pinelands master plan impacts about 80% of our Pinelands master plan, Pineland zoning. The Pinelands master plan covering the vast majority of the zoning within Windsor Township, when we review that, we get to send it to the Pinelands Commission for additional review to be sent back to us for approval. This is how we get to the solutions we need to review the zoning or reduce or adjust the zoning. Instead of having high-density residential housing all over Windsor Township, we could reduce some of the zoning maybe to medium or low, or maybe we could change some parcels to more commercial in certain areas where they're strategically fit for our township. Our flaws come within our master plan. And the way we solve those flaws, we have to immediately review and expeditiously review the master plan and get it passed and pass those appropriate zonings. If we don't do this in a timely manner, what's happening right now will not stop.
Mr. Glick, it's just a comment. We are currently in the process of reviewing the master plan. Our planner has provided a draft to the planning staff. I believe Mr. Gallagher and the planning staff are reviewing it. After their review, the technical comments will go back to the planner. The planner will then incorporate those comments into the revised master plan, which then comes back to Mr. Gallagher, the planning staff, and eventually goes to our solicitor. Once that's done, it comes to the planning board does review it, then it goes back to the solicitor before it comes to this body for review and approval. There will be a number of ordinances that need to be approved following that master plan review. So that's the process. It's in progress. So you keep asking for a review. It's currently going on.
The terminology I used was an expeditious review, and I hope you're talking about not just the non-Pinelands, but the Pinelands master plan. You're talking about the Pinelands master plan, which covers 80% of zoning, correct, Commissioner Flamini? Or were you only talking about 20% of Windsor Township?
We just did a master plan review for the Pinelands, if I remember.
And if I may, we did a complete rezoning of the entire regional growth area. It took us almost 10 years to complete because of the Pinelands would hold it up. So most of your growth occurs within the regional growth area, the Pinelands, and we completely rezoned that area to enhance commercial development along the Route 73 corridor from Cooper Folly Road down to Blue Anchor Road. That's the regional growth area with some residential behind that. So that has already taken place, and it took almost 10 years to accomplish because the Pinelands will keep, there's no such thing as expeditious with the Pinelands. And you know that, and I know that. So they went back and forth for several years trying to get that accomplished, but that was a major undertaking and a great accomplishment made by Winslow in that area.
So regarding the Pinelands master plan and the non-Pinelands master plan, for legal purposes, does the township, does the municipality solicitors, does the municipality have the legal right to review the master plan at any time they see fit? Does it have to be every 10 years? Or could it be every 5 years? Could it be 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, theoretically.
So legally, we can review the master plan at any point we choose to. Regarding the construction of the Pinelands master plan, since that was brought up, if the residents, business owners were for these current master plans, why are residents and business owners bringing issues or concerns about the overdevelopment of residential housing? Because currently we have a lot of high-density zoning all over Windsor Township, and it's negatively impacting traffic patterns, environment, et cetera. So these are real issues, and the only way we solve them is to review the master plan accordingly and reduce some of the zoning accordingly for our services and for the residents. I'm not sure what members of the governing body have how many residents or business owners any individual they've spoken to. I think I've spoken to a lot of different individuals all across Windsor Township and business owners, and I get the same thing. The buildings, the overdevelopment has to stop. Our services can't handle it, the traffic can't handle it, the car accidents are exponentially increasing. An expeditious review, yes, we can expeditiously review things. It has to go, the Pinelands Management has to go to Pinelands Commission. So let's expeditiously review the Pinelands version, send it to the Pinelands Commission, let them send it back to us so we can do our thorough review and hopefully re-implement a better Pinelands master plan for the residents.
Most of the residential high-density development is not in the Pinelands. It's in the non-Pinelands area, which is the master plan that we are currently reviewing. So if you keep asking for these expeditious plans to be reviewed, you don't understand how much money it takes, how long it takes. The master plan review, I believe, started not last year, in 2024, if I remember correctly.
We're almost,
so it's
second year.
This is our second year, and it's not done yet. From what I understand at the planning department, we hope to have these things in our hands by the end of the year with the ordinances adopted. So you're talking a 2.5-year review cycle. So if you want to review it every 2 years, we'll be constantly reviewing the plan and never have anything settled. So we have to look at this more judiciously, if you will. You can't do it every 2 years. You can't do it every 3 years. There's not enough money that we bring in taxes to do that, because you have to engage the planner, then it has to be reviewed by our staff, and you have to get the solicitors involved. So there's a lot that goes into reviewing a master plan.
So, Commissioner Fellini, You were directly and indirectly involved in the previous master plans of the Pinelands and non-Pinelands. Is that not
I
statement?
reviewed them, yes.
So you were one of the members who helped set forth the zoning. You approved the current zonings.
We look at the plan presented to us by the planner. Does it make sense for us? At the time it's reviewed, yes, it made sense. Does it make sense now? No. That's why it's being reviewed again.
So you thought it made sense to zone high density all over Windsor Township?
Because 10 years ago, we were looking to get more houses. Everybody wants to have grocery stores. They want to have a Trader Joe's. They want to have this. These people will not come to Winslow without rooftops. What's a rooftop? It's a housing unit.
That's money.
Without them, the big corporations do not want to settle here. So we can talk all day about, gee, we don't want any more residences. We don't want this. We want commercial. We want all. It's got to be balanced. It's got to make sense. It's got to be, as Mr. Gallagher said, smart growth, which is what we're trying to do now. And as you keep asking for these expeditious reviews, it's being expeditiously reviewed. It can't be done overnight because there's too much involved in it, and it's very technical. I mean, if you read through some of the zoning ordinances, your eyes spin. But that's what we do on the planning board. And I mean, again, the MLUL is a book this thick. And that's what governs what we can do as far as land use in the state of New Jersey.
So it was, I want to make sure I
I
understand this.
do want to, this is
really
comment by
important
officials.
information.
I understand.
This is really important, Solicitor.
This is a portion where comments are made. This is not a debate.
This is not a
It's
debate.
not
This is-
an attack on Committeeman Flamini.
With all due respect, there was no attack. I believe I stipulated facts, or I inquired about experience regarding master plans. I've gotten countless questions about the master plans. And I'm
Understood,
trying-
and you can make comments as to that,
and
and to what you think is best, and
And
what
with-
you would recommend that the township do.
With all due respect, Solicitor, I was speaking and Committeeman Flamini responded.
I understand.
So in that concept, I responded
I
back.
just want to interject before it gets to be too much. I understand.
I appreciate it.
And unfortunately, with the Pinelands, they've changed the rules as well with their Pinelands development credits. It used to be where commercial property, if they say it's a split zone where there's some high density, or if there's some commercial, or they come before the zoning board and they get a variance, now the commercial properties, now if they are going to take any kind of land that could be potentially developed for any kind of housing development or anything like that, they're charging the commercial properties the PDC. So a lot of these commercial properties are afraid to come here because they have to pay, up to $1 million to the Pinelands. And the Pinelands, if those who are not familiar with a Pinelands development credit, in order to build certain areas in a residential property, they charge you X amount of dollars. I think it's up to $80,000, $90,000 for a quarter credit, just so you can bypass some of the environmental issues, so you can actually build and exceed the density that they put forth. So even though we zone it sometimes, they'll allow for even further zonings if you're willing to pay for it.
I'm going to wrap my comments up on this topic. Very simple. I've listened to small business owners, I've listened to large business owners, I've listened to residents all over Windsor Township. The same concerns are more accidents are occurring, the traffic is getting worse, there's environmental concerns. The only way we can solve, the only solutions are to review the master plans and to make sure we correct the zoning so we don't continue down the same path. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other comments? Hearing that, Ms. Doherty, may we have the closing prayer?
Yes, ma'am. At the close of this meeting, we pause once again, oh God, to give thanks for living in a nation of people who had the privilege to govern their own affairs. May decisions made this evening be ones that make our township a better place in which to live. Amen.
Motion to adjourn.
What? Yeah, I know. Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You said something about this,
Which one?
being sold as commercial?
No, not that one, no. No. I'm talking about the one